Posted by a deleted user on October 20, 2024. I don't understand why I'm in this situation, and honestly, I'm frustrated because even my own family tells me I'm the bad one here. I just need to vent. More than 17 years ago, my ex-husband cheated on me with a woman I didn't know, but she knew me. He left me for her when our only daughter was a baby, and I just moved on with my life. I'm never going to fight for a man who makes immature decisions without first thinking about the consequences. He married that woman, and I went on with my life, preferring to have a healthy co-parenting relationship for my daughter. He never showed remorse and even told me that our relationship was always a mistake, and that woman was the love of his life. That helped me realize that he's a total jerk, and I don't need a man like that in my life. Now, he has cheated on her, and for some reason, this woman, who always had a really cold and distant relationship with me, is insisting on trying to talk to me every day. I found out about the infidelity from my daughter, who wasn't affected by it, so I didn't think much of it. The only thing that worried me was whether he would continue to have our daughter at his house on weekends as always. But his wife started sending me messages explaining what happened, even though I never asked her. In the past, I only spoke to her if her husband didn't answer my texts about our daughter. It's obvious that she needs to talk about it. It doesn't matter if I reply dryly, she sends me long voice messages about it anyway. I mean, I understand that she needs to talk about her husband's infidelity and all, but why me? I don't want to be rude, but I don't care how she or he feels. In one of her messages, she said, "You know how I feel now." Like, I guess? But that was 17 years ago. It's not the same. And if I'm being 100% honest, she can't compare herself to me at all, a woman who had just given birth, whose husband told her he had been cheating for a long time with someone who wasn't boring in bed and knew how to value him, versus a woman who always knew her husband was unfaithful and decided to marry him anyway. Anyway, I've tried to ignore her as much as I can. But even when I talk to my family or friends about this, almost all of them said things like, "Oh, but she must feel lonely. She wasn't to blame for being the other woman." I think you should be more empathetic. We all need someone to talk to, or my favorite, "She's not to blame for him being a cheater. You should understand her because she needs help." I understand that she is not to blame and that he's the cheater, but she, a fully grown adult at the time, chose to marry a man she knew had been sleeping with her while his wife was pregnant. So why should I now bear the responsibility of helping her when she never helped me by saying, "Hey, your husband is sleeping with me, and that's really wrong because he's married to you"? That's what I would have done if a married man flirted with me. Now, if she didn't do any of that, why is it my duty as a feminist to force myself to be her friend? It doesn't make sense, and the worst thing is that almost all the women around me say I should help her and be a listening ear when I don't want to or feel any empathy for her or for him. I think she and he knew very well what they were getting into. I don't understand why I should be her free therapist now. Being cheated on is not my whole personality. I don't need to talk about that 24/7 with her. I've chosen to ignore her, and that's what I'm going to continue doing because I just don't care how she feels, even if that makes me a bad feminist for not feeling empathy. Sorry, my first language is Spanish, and I wrote everything feeling pretty annoyed. Edit. No, I can't block her because she's still living with him, and I need to have her contact information in case of an emergency with my daughter. And honestly, it's weird to have so many comments and even private messages from people wanting to tell me what I should send to her or even writing what they think I feel. I'm sorry, but there's no way I'm going to use a message from a stranger who doesn't know me or the whole situation to say something to her. I feel like a lot of people in the comments are projecting their own traumas. Update 13 days later. Hi, it's been a while since I posted, and I just wanted to give a little update for those who were worried. First of all, my mother was a lover for a long time when I was a teenager and during my adulthood. Their relationship lasted for many years until he died. I think his wife never found out about the affair. That's why my mom manipulates me so much into not judging my ex's wife, saying, "No one chooses who to fall in love with." My mother always saw herself in that woman, which is why she insisted that my ex-husband and his lover, now wife, are soulmates and that I shouldn't get in the way. I was very young, and at the time, I could only lean on my mother for a little support. Narcissists always target vulnerable people. Nowadays, I don't have much contact with her, but my daughter still spends time with my family. As for my friends, well, I am a feminist activist, and opinions regarding lovers are divided, as most of them are on the liberal side. Most of the time, judging lovers is seen as misogynistic because they are single women, and the man is the one we should blame, and we need to show solidarity with other women. So, I expected that reaction from most of them. I agree with that perspective in many cases, but not in this one. I can feel empathy when the woman didn't know or when she was a minor being groomed, but in this case, I don't feel any pity because she knew exactly what she was doing. Women can also be mean and cruel. Women can also choose to be the villains of a story without someone manipulating them, because we are not weak, and my ex's wife is that kind of woman. No one manipulated her into doing anything. I'm sorry if that explanation was unnecessary, but some people didn't understand my family's and friends' behavior, and honestly, it feels good to vent. I ended up speaking with my ex's wife because, honestly, a few days ago, I had a really stressful day, and the last thing I needed was to see her messages on WhatsApp, so I just exploded. I had planned to keep ignoring her, but that day I was upset about work-related issues, and I ended up telling her everything. I sent her an audio message telling her that I am not interested in her life or the fact that she's suffering. I told her that I am not her friend, nor am I interested in being one. She never asked me for forgiveness, and now she expects me to start some kind of support group for women cheated on by my ex. I said other things too, and I wish I could post the audios here. I told her that she knew exactly what she was getting into. She knew well that my ex was capable of cheating on the mother of his baby, yet she still decided to marry him and live out the fantasy that she could change him and that she was different from all the other women he had been with. God, I hate long audio messages, but I spent more than 5 minutes telling her that her situation and mine are nothing alike. That was probably my greatest catharsis. She got upset, and we started arguing. It was quite exhausting, and the last thing I want is to have problems after 17 years of relatively normal co-parenting. I know they aren't going to get divorced, which means I will have to live with her presence in my life forever. So, I sent a message to my ex, resending one of the audios she sent me. I took the time to listen to them all, and she never apologized to me. Not that I need her apologies, I don't care, but some people had asked about that. Her messages were just complaints or attempts to get us both to speak poorly about him, or she wanted to use me as her free therapist. I told my ex to ask his wife to calm down and see a psychologist. He apologized to me and said that they are working on their marriage. He explained that she is still feeling angry and insecure with him, like, yes, obviously, idiot. Since I had suffered through the same thing, which, no, is not the same, she felt we could share the pain. He told me that they both started attending online conferences by some couple who teach how to get over infidelity. Sometimes, I envy people who can scam others so easily, anyway. I made it clear to him that I am not friends with her and that this is affecting our co-parenting. I insisted he should step in if she doesn't understand what I'm saying. In the end, he reluctantly agreed to talk to her, and I have gone 3 days without receiving any messages from her, except one today, just to let me know my daughter was sleeping over there, so I guess it worked. I don't care if they have a happy or miserable marriage. I don't care if she's content knowing he cheated on her but stays with him anyway. I just want to live in peace and avoid drama with people who, at over 40 years old, are still mentally stuck in high school.